Now that we know the general structure of a command, let's see how to issue those commands to the system. I'll open up a terminal here on my machine. I'll go to Applications, choose Utilities, and then choose Terminal. In a graphical environment, we use a terminal application to work at the command line. The terminal application runs a shell program, as I mentioned before, which is a text-based interface where you can interact with the system. On your system, you can usually find the terminal application in a Utilities folder. Or if your system doesn't start up with a graphical interface, you'll find yourself at the shell after logging in. Here in GNOME, on Fedora Workstation, I'll press Ctrl-Shift= a few times to make the font a little bit bigger. And I'll maximize the terminal window by dragging it to the top of the screen. The first thing we see in the shell is the prompt. That's where we enter commands. The prompt shows a little bit of information. In my case, it's my username, my host name, which is the computer's name, and the name of the folder where I'm currently working. Right now, it's the tilde character, which represents my user's home folder. We'll cover that a little bit later. On different platforms, the prompt is a little bit different, still with the same information, but in a different order. Because it's different on different platforms, you might wonder if you can customize it further. And you can. What we're interested in right now is the right side of this prompt, where our cursor is. That's where we'll send commands to the system. Let's run a command. I'll type ls and press enter. When I do that, the shell interprets my command to list the contents of this directory. That's what ls stands for. And gives me back the output of that command. In this case, a list of files and folders in my current working directory, the user home folder. Earlier, we saw how to add options to the command. I'll type ls again, and then press space and add the L option with -L. You can see how specifying the L option changes how the ls command works. Specifying an option like this only changes how the command works the one time it's being used. If I write ls again without the option, it behaves as it did before. And finally, if I try to run a command that doesn't exist, or the system doesn't know about, I get an error message. For example, if I type list instead of ls, it gives me an error, but it doesn't hurt anything.